Casio MWD100H. This one comes in 4 flavors, 3 positive dials, 1 negative dial. And for the positive versions, you have one with a slightly yellowed LCD panel, which is this one. You have the light gray LCD panel, and then you have one which is a light LCD panel with blue plastic inserts. But they all have the metal bezel. Okay, let's get it off the wrist and have a look. I didn't buy this. Someone gave this to me because they didn't want it. And this is a model I never would have bought. But now that I have it, yeah, it's taught me a lesson. That just because a watch is seemingly large, maybe you ought to give it a try anyway, because I have got skinny, flat wrists, which are the worst for watches, because there's a whole bunch of watches you can't wear. This one surprisingly fits my 6.6 inch wrist. The measurements of this one, okay, let me just bring up my little information here. Just a second, bring my mouse over. There we go. Okay, so I've got a 51.8 lug to lug, 50.7 diameter, and a 13.7 millimeter thick, which effectively makes it 14 millimeter thick. It doesn't look it, does it? And I know why this fits. I know why this wears well. There's 2 reasons. First of all is you've got squared off edges at the top, and the second thing is that even though this is absolutely a slightly over 50 millimeter watch, the actual dial part is small because of all this bezel going around it. Now, is this a 100% metal case? No, it's not. It's metal and resin. You've obviously got the metal on the back, and this top bezel part, this is also metal. This part is the resin right here. Okay. So, what's the feature set of this guy? It's the same as the F201, which means that you've got weekday, month, day, time. This little spinny wheel thing, that's your 5 alarms. It does have 5. And then that right there, it says SNZ. That is for when snooze is active, only on alarm number 1. So if I run through the settings real quick, time, alarm, and I think is it this button right here? Yeah, there's alarm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this one right here, if I press adjust, I'll get back to this in a second, but that is where you turn on. Oop, nope, not that button. Is it this one? Nope, that's the light. Oh, it is this button, okay. See that where it says SIG? That's hourly signal right there. Turn off and on. And I might as well stay here for a second. Yeah, very nice night light. As you can see, dual bulbs. Okay. We've got a countdown timer. It does have auto repeat. Yes, it does. And then a stopwatch and a dual time mode where it says DT up there. Yeah. So let me show you everything. There we go. That is everything on the panel right there. Just so you can see that. Okay, we're going to start from scratch, go through it. Switching from 12 to 24, you just saw the 24-hour mode a moment ago, is a single press of this button. You do not have to be in settings to do it. Press, we're in 24-hour mode. Press again, back to 12-hour. I don't think there's any way to mute the beeps on this thing, because when I press and hold this, yeah, that's a quick shortcut back to the main timekeeping. So if I'm on another screen and I just press and hold this, it will run back over to the front. Now, as far as setting the time and date, again, this is one of those that will automatically set the weekday for you. So if you have the correct date, then you have the correct day of the week. So we do that by pressing and holding the top left. We start with seconds, we adjust with this one, and then press mode to go to the hour, adjust with this, press mode again, go to minute, adjust with this, press mode again, press this to adjust the year. Now, I'm going to show this because people seem to miss this one. Like, let's just say you went past the year you want. Oh, how do I get it back? Just keep going all the way to 2099 and it will circle back. You got to press and hold. I'm going to show exactly how it's done. 11, 1, 2, 3. There we go. That's how you set the year. Press this, and then we go to the month, and I have it set for September, month 9, and press, which you adjust with this. Press this, adjust the day with this, press this, and we go back to second, and then press top left to get out of it. And as you can see, Sunday, September 24, and that is correct for 2023. Moving on. Okay, so we're in the alarm section. I showed this a moment ago. When it shows the 00, that means you are on the section that will enable or disable the hourly signal, which is the beep beep at the top of every hour, and we adjust that when on 00 with adjust. You see the little sig come on there. On or off, easy enough. To go to alarm 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, we press the bottom right. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I will concentrate. Oh, and by the way, when you get past 5, it goes to hourly signal, and then press it again to go to alarm 1. Now I'm only going to concentrate on 1 here for a moment, because this is the one and the only one that affects snooze. So to adjust this alarm, well, first we'll do the snooze thing first. Let's just say I don't want to adjust the alarm time, but I do want to adjust whether it's enabled or disabled. We pay attention to 2 things here: this spinny wheel thing and snooze. If I press adjust momentarily once, alarm number 1 is now enabled. If I press it again, snooze is enabled. If I press it again, disabled completely. And I will repeat again, snooze is only available on alarm number 1. That's it. Now if I go to a different alarm, which I press by bottom right, alarm number 2, and I press adjust. Okay, see the number 2 there? It's got the alarm enabled. If I press it again, notice that nothing happened with snooze. It's only enabled or disabled. Now I'll go to alarm number 3. This one I will actually set, and we do a long press of the top left. When you see the blinking, now we can start setting. So we set the hour first, which is currently set to midnight, because this is in 12-hour time right now. If I wanted to set it in 24-hour time, I go back to main timekeeping, press the bottom right, switch over to 24, come back over to alarm, and then set, and then I can set my alarms in 24-hour time. But we will stay in 12-hour time since we are already here. Now I'm going to set this for 3:27 p.m. So I press until I get to 9:12. Notice the little P, that means PM when you're in 12-hour time. 3. Okay, now I want 27, so I press mode once to switch over to minute, and press and hold this to fast scroll over to 27. But before I do that, the numbers only scroll forward. If I try this to go backward, nothing happens, it just turns on the light. Press and hold. Go 1, 5, 6, 7, 3:27. And you'll notice that while setting it, it already enabled it up here. And then momentarily press adjust to get out. And then now what I can do is I can turn it off or turn it on. So if I wanted to, for example, enable all 5 alarms, 4, 5, hourly signal, alarm 1, enable, hour 2, enable. Go past 3, we don't have to do anything, it's already enabled. 4, enable, 5, enable. And as you can see by this little spinny thing, every single alarm is on. To turn them off, okay. Go back to 1. Now, snooze is not on, but it will come on, and then I gotta press it again to disable alarm 1. Disable 2. Disable 3. Disable 4. Disable 5. There we go. And we're done with alarms. Countdown timer. This can count up to 24 hours of time. I have it set to 10 minutes. You cannot adjust the seconds on this one, just hours and minutes. So if I, for example, long press adjust, and let me just set this one to 0. It's going to go up to 59, 890. Okay. If we are at all zeros and I press this bottom right, 23:59 starts countdown from 24 hours. To stop, bottom right to reset, adjust once. Okay. Now what I will do is set this for 10 minutes with auto repeat. So I will press and hold adjust. Okay, I'm on hour. Now if I press this, it will adjust the hour, but I don't want to. I just want 10 minutes. Press mode and then set 10 minutes. To set auto repeat, you tap the light button once. Now the light does come on, but notice that symbol? That is the auto repeat symbol. So now what will happen is, well, let's just say I'm done. Press adjust once, and I start the timer. Now what will happen is that this will count down from 10 minutes and then beep and automatically restart. So, okay, that's how that works. So I stop the timer, reset the timer. And let's just say I want to disable the auto repeat and only that. So press and hold adjust and press light once. Gets rid of the auto repeat. Press adjust again. That's it. We're done there. And now we are on stopwatch. To start the stopwatch, press start stop. To stop, press start stop. To reset, adjust. If you want to do the split time, lap time thing, start. And instead of stopping, hit adjust. It will say split, SPL. And then adjust. Okay. And if we want to do our first runner or second runner thing, we start. And the first runner is about to finish the cross the finish line, and when they do, you press adjust. Okay. And then the second runner is about to cross the finish line, and that's when you press start stop and does. Okay, so this is the first runner's finish time, which is 11 seconds and 11.51 seconds. And then for the second runner's finish time, you press adjust, which is 20.63 seconds. And then to reset, press adjust. That's it. Last feature is dual time. You can adjust the hour and the minute, but not the second, because the second always synchronizes to the home time, which is here. I have mine set to UTC. And the way to adjust it is just by long pressing adjust. And then you set the hour with this button and then press mode. And you set the minute with this button. Now you don't have to set it, and then when you're done, you just press adjust to get out of it. Now you can set this for any offset that you want. You can set it for 10 minutes ahead, 20 minutes ahead, 3 hour, 4 hour. You're just tracking 2 different times. That's all that you do with DT dual time. And that is it. Let's go back on the wrist. Actually, wait. Before I do that, I need a note about this strap. I do like this strap because it's flat. It doesn't have those little rumpy bumpy things. This is again what makes it fit so nicely on my little skinny wrist. I'm actually quite impressed with this. And it's not expensive. This thing is about, I'll link it in the description. It's $30 on Amazon right now. $30. And dare I say, this kind of looks ritzy. It does have some actual shine to it because you've got that real metal going on and real screws. Yeah, you don't ever need to take them off, but they are there. It's just cool. It's just a cool looking watch. I mean, yeah, you got some strap tail going on, but still, this thing actually fits my wrist, which is amazing because by all logic, a 50 millimeter wide, over 50 millimeter, should not fit my wrist at all. But look at that. It does. I mean, there is a little tiny bit of over. Actually, no, there's not. It's just right on the edge of overhang, but it somehow hangs on. I was glad to get it, though. Honestly, glad to get it. So yeah, I'll have it linked below if you want to check it out. MWD 100.